Hello, hello. Noyjeetut here. Kind of wrestling with time before sunset when I do a vlog. So yeah. Beautiful day. Sad to see it go. It's going to get colder. It already has. I want to start off, I've caught up on a few movies. My first topic on that piece of paper that I was trying to read without anyone noticing was, it's called Frozen Flaws, from the movie Frozen, which, when I was watching it, it looked so Pixar-y. I thought it was Pixar, but it was not Pixar. It was Disney trying to replicate what Pixar does to try, I think, throw a lot of people off. A lot of misdirection with that whole movie. Just some stuff I did not like, and if you haven't seen Frozen, listen to me now and then watch the movie and you'll really see it for yourself that much more. You thought I was going to tell you to skip this part, but no. You need to watch it all. Right off the bat, let's see. The main love interest, the guy with the pet reindeer? Yeah, that guy, I forget his name. He saw the girl, what's her name, Anne? I think her name is Anne, have her heart, or no, her head touched by the trolls and healed. And he never remembered that or recalled that whatsoever to help her when she got her heart frozen. So, yeah. He saw it as a child. They had it in there. But he didn't remember it for whatever reason. So he couldn't be of any help of saying, my adopted parents, the trolls. Which, again, can that be the crows of our generation? They're obviously black people. All the trolls are black people. And they're very warm and inviting people and loving and kind of a Jewish family vibe, but they're trolls. And I don't know if that's the kind of message you want to send out there. It may be a little better than the Black Crows from Dumbo. I'm not sure, but yeah, that was also kind of weird. They should have just had a few with a little pensive voices, like a Woody Allen troll or something. Or just a obviously white guy troll. But no, they were all very, not even genuine black people. They were like Tyler Perry black people, which is about like blackface level. Just what everyone thinks over exaggerated black person would sound like. And yeah, that wasn't too good. The music I did not think was that great. The only song I really liked was when Elsa, is that her name? We'll just call it the Ice Princess, embraced being the Ice Princess. So yeah, that was a pretty good song. And then there's this character Hans who is set up with Anna early on, or Anne, and he does this huge heel turn in the movie, but not without doing like these really heroic things leading up to it. Before the heel turn, he actually is taking good care of the castle that he's inherited while Anne's gone on this journey to find her sister. He rationed out supplies for the less fortunate, using it as a soup kitchen and handing out blankets. He seemed like a class act to me, Hans. And then they also had him take out that old guy's crossbowmen who tried to kill the Ice Princess. He even though he was under attack through much of that and had to kill her ice golem, Hans was a pretty good guy. And then he does this huge heel turn where you find out he really wants to become a prince or a king because all of his brothers are higher up to get a throne than him. Something like that. He's like a 12th son. So, yeah. Does a heel turn. But it's really a really bad heel turn, because he just went from being this interesting character who was doing good to being really evil in a really short time, with not even like any clues, and it's just not really that clever. The good movies will let you in on a plot twist coming up, and then you put it all together once it happens, and this was just a 180 out of nowhere. So yeah, Hans turned evil, but the funny part was she finds true love. The joke there was she didn't know Hans for very long, but she finds true love with the guy with the reindeer, and she hasn't known him for she's known him for maybe 2 days. So it's not really makes sense there either, because now they have true love and they've only known each other for 2 days. Also, a lot of the direction the characters are going is just really confusing, and they cross different paths, going different ways. They're going one way, they're coming back. They don't have one dedicated direction that they're always headed, and I could follow along, but a younger kid may have trouble following along with all the redirects they have in this movie. But yeah, I thought Josh Gad did fine as the snowman. It was pretty good. I just thought those glaring holes really hurt it, and I liked it still, but to me, it's not a Beauty and the Beast. It's not Aladdin or Little Mermaid or Lion King. It's just not there. I don't know if you can even say if it's a Cinderella, Snow White, or Cinderella, Snow White. I always forget that one of them, Sleeping Beauty. I wouldn't classify it as any of those either. I would put it probably ahead of a Pocahontas, even though that music was better, but there you go. There's how I rank Frozen, which I was very disappointed in. Just because it's a Disney movie. And in fact, I was so misled. I thought it was actually a Disney Pixar venture, which was not true at all. But it shows how they mimic the style enough to try to lead us all that way. The adults looked like Pixar adults. It was very, very, very Pixar look to it. It's aggravating. Because, yeah. I'm glad I saw it for free off of illegal means and paying money for it. Let's just put it that way. I wanted to get into mentioning podcasts, and I am going to put a link to this podcast below. Whenever I hear maybe a good one in a week, or whenever I listen to it, no matter when it came out, I'm just going to maybe talk about it a little bit and just say, give it a listen. The one I have below is Steve Austin interviewing Jerry the King Lawler, and this is their second interview. The first one I'd say steer clear from. I did not like it. It was really... One thing that just kind of made me mad at the whole thing is Jerry Lawler kind of alluded to the fact that he had a heart attack was mainly because of his match with Dolph Ziggler, where Dolph Ziggler has a move where he plants 10 in a row elbows on his chest. I don't watch wrestling anymore, but I find the behind-the-scenes stuff very fascinating and still keep up with the gossip, the dirt rags, stuff like that. And I find that more interesting than the actual product. But again, he blamed his heart attack on that. It says maybe his heart, his doctor said maybe his heart was out of rhythm after those elbows to the heart, which I guess it seems logical a little bit, but it also seems like if you spend most of your life shaped like a potato, you're also going to be very prone to a heart attack. And Jerry Lawler looks like a potato. So I'd say probably skip the first one, but the second one really redeemed itself. He comes out and he tells this great story about Jim Carrey on the set of Man on the Moon, and how Jim Carrey was trying to be a method actor, and it kind of bit him in the ass in the end. But it was a good story about how the people behind the movie did not want Jim Carrey to take a pile driver because they don't want to wreck their star of the movie's face or maybe even hurt him. It's funny because this is on Stone Cold's podcast, and he was temporarily paralyzed from a pile driver by Owen Hart, and had a huge had lots of neck injuries after that, and it changed the way he wrestled. So it's a dangerous move no matter how you cut it. But the funny part was Lawler was downplaying the dangerousness of it, but still he was on the side of the investors to the movie and did not perform it despite Jim Carrey's opposition to that. And it gets really good. It gets really physical, and it's amazing. And I believe it to be true. I don't know if it is the truth, but it seemed like that's what happened. I've never heard anything Jim Carrey talk about anything otherwise. So, I mean, I just take his word for it, but it's a good story, which it ends with Jim Carrey getting his upnuts. So, yeah. What else? So check that out at the bottom. That's the Steve Austin podcast. He interviews mostly old wrestlers, and it's a good story. On the second one, that will be below. Got Saving Banks here, and also next to it, Incest Themes. Oh my God, Saving Banks. I really did not like that movie. Just some main things. To me, you have Tom Hanks doing this killer Walt Disney impression, and you don't show him. You probably show B.J. Novak more than you show Tom Hanks doing Walt Disney in this film, which kind of pissed me off. I thought they should have had more scenes with him. I think they missed their chance with that. I thought that was a very big missed opportunity. And the flashbacks with Colin Farrell as a drunk father who, whenever he gets drunk, he doesn't beat his children. He just gets very intimate with them. And I guess maybe that's our new culture of any kind of touching from a man is bad touch with his children. But a lot of it made me feel very uncomfortable. There was a point where he took this little girl onto a horse with him, and there are different ways you would position yourself, maybe with her in front and you in back, but he turned her to him. So she's backwards going forward, looking into her dad's eyes as their genitalia lines up. And I just say that's wrong. Call me old-fashioned. And they did have a really weird relationship. She contributed to his death by giving him alcohol when he was begging for it on his deathbed. So he seemed way closer to her than to his own wife. And it just made me all those flashbacks made me very uncomfortable. Gave me the heebie-jeebies. Just awkward moments, just chock full of awkward moments. And the rest of the performance, I don't know her name. I didn't remember her name. Is it Emma? Something like that. Something stupid. I just want to forget the whole thing, really. It's just a whole mess. There's stuff that's remarked on, like B.J. Novak is part of these twin brothers, one half, that made songs for Walt Disney in the golden age. And he has a limp, and she finds out he got shot. And it's never, re-talked about again. It's not like they dropped the subject. It's like, oh, he looks like someone who got shot. It's like, okay. So it's all about, this woman being a anal retentive bitch about her writings. But then, losing her way on every fucking thing. It's like Walt Disney fucks her over anyway. It's really great. It's great in that aspect. That's the only thing great about the whole film. It's just that she doesn't get her way. Except she's put in a position where she is happy with the finished product, which makes no sense. I wouldn't have hated a unhappy ending with this. I really wish she raised hell in the premiere. That'd been funnier. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't be true. But yeah, she lost everything. She didn't want Red in the movie. She didn't want the father to have a mustache. She did not want animation, and she lost that with the Penguins. She did not want Dick Van Dyke. All these things she did not want, and she lost all those battles. And the funny part was she didn't like the mustache on the man because her father was clean-shaven, Colin Farrell, and that would hurt her little fantasy about her dad, and that's just wrong. But one thing another thing I didn't like was Tom Hanks as Walt Disney. His whole reason for having the dad have a mustache. And the man that has a mustache, if you remember Mary Poppins, he doesn't look badass. He's not rugged. He's just like this guy with a mustache. He looks like a little what's that guy? Wimpy from Popeye that's always borrowing the 10 cents to get a hamburger. He looks like that guy. He looks like Wimpy. And he has a little mustache. But Tom Hanks, his whole thing was I wanted to have a tribute to my dad, and then he tells a story about how his dad was an asshole. It's like I don't understand why you want to tribute someone who pretty much abused you by making you run his newspaper route in lots of snow, and would whoop you if you missed the morning or evening post. It just complete garbage. It's like that story makes no sense. By that own story, she should have just told him, and that's why he should be clean shaven, because he won't remind you of your asshole dad. I know this is jumpy all over the place. It's just, like I said, I'm trying to forget it. It's just I need therapy after that. If you want to watch a Tom Hanks movie from 2013, go with Captain Phillips. It's much more enjoyable as a movie. It's more complete. It makes more sense, and it doesn't have weird incest themes throughout. Thank God. I'm trying to picture that guy doing. Instead, I am the captain now. I am your daddy now. That guy's never going to get any more work ever. They keep on talking about like how great his performance was, and that's great. You know, it's the same thing with Precious. They're just not going to get work anymore. There's just these little niche roles to have this malnourished guy, black guy with bad teeth, that will never come up again. A Somalian pirate. It's a dream role that's never, I don't know. I feel like an asshole, but it's not the worst thing in the world for someone to do something great, like be in a movie with Tom Hanks, and then go back to being a limousine driver. Why is that so bad? I mean, you'd rather have that opportunity than not, right? So yeah, let's move on. Snowstorm in Georgia. That was embarrassing. 2 inches of snow fell and pretty much kept all our vehicles from moving. Some people were stranded for 24 hours going into local Waffle Houses and different, some Kroger's and Publix has let people in. There was a Target and a Home Depot. There was a Home Depot, and they showed that they let people in all these people abandoned their cars, and they let them in. And they even had a reading area in the lumber department. They just put out some signs saying, shh, and yeah, it just complete chaos. I think Target had the best PR. Target fed all these people and had watched movies, and they had 24-hour popcorn. And anytime you want popcorn, you got popcorn. Just really classy move. So a lot of people were able to come out and become heroes, but you know, we've become a laughing stock for the country from last week, and we're still feeling a bit of that. The mayor, Nathan Deal, and the governor, Nathan Deal, and the mayor, Hassim Reed, have been all over doing press conferences. The mayor was asleep. No, the governor was asleep when it happened, when it turned from I already forgot it, a warning to this shit gonna happen about 3:57. He blamed that, but it seems like if something got updated like that, you'd have someone wake you up so you could call it a natural disaster and get people from going to fucking work. That's the thing that part that killed me, is so many people had to go to work. I had to go to work, and luckily I got off at when I was at lunch at 11, so I was able to get home with plenty of time. In fact, I went to a few places like the store and got some stuff before I got back here. So I was very lucky in that sense. Other people not so much. One thing that really pissed me off is there were some counties like Toccoa, Georgia, who had their kids on the day of the huge snowstorm coming 2 hours later. It's like, oh, just don't come in as early. Come in 2 hours later, and you'll be here stuck. And, I mean, a lot of those kids did not go back home that night. A lot of them had to spend time in the school all night. I know that has to be a miniature Lord of the Flies experiment really fast, especially with the state of Atlanta, with the schooling in Georgia. Just terrible. But the worst case was there were several groups of students were stuck on buses, and they actually did designate a back corner of the bus for pooping. So there's your childhood trauma right there. I couldn't imagine being on a bus with my classmates, it being about 14 degrees, and we all smell each other's shit in the back corner where we designate everyone to be able to have bowel movements. But that's what happened. I would have to change schools afterwards. I couldn't imagine looking at those people in the eyes after knowing the stuff that happened on that bus. So it was just stupid. A lot of people should have been calling things off right off the bat. And what the governor blamed mainly was the fact that we didn't stagger letting people off. Everyone pretty much got off at all these people got off at 4. I saw a lot of people on the road at 11:30. I could not imagine what it was like at 4. It just had to be terrible to get right off at that time because no one was going anywhere. And that's pretty much the tell. Everyone's pointing fingers, and I do think the governor and the mayor could have done better. I think they should totally wake up the governor at any time for any kind of those cases where something gets changed from a warning to something that's certainly coming and going to happen. But yeah, that's what happened. You know, the sad part is, for a while there, I just thought maybe they just caused a minor inconvenience. But some people have died. It'd been one thing if it was like, oh, well, that took a day away from some people. Some people will be delayed for 8 hours or more. That's one thing, but I think 1 or 2 people died. I know a girl got her, I don't know how she's doing, I haven't heard an update, but had her leg severed as she was pushing her mother's vehicle after it got hit a car and got stuck. And another car hit her and severed off her leg. And they were trying to reattach it, but that's my ringtone. Who knows what it's going to be like after, even if it worked when they reattached it, that's just, it's never the same. Nothing's ever the same. God, I sprained my ankle before, and it's never been the same to how it was before being sprained. Can you imagine having a clear limb just taken off? And it could be rejected. The body could have rejected it by now, for all I know. But yeah, that's what they have to live with on their minds, is their unwillingness to close this shit down costs someone possibly the limb and some lives. That's your collateral damage. It wasn't as bad before when it was just people late. People shitting on a bus even. Still not as bad as losing your life. So yeah. But we had a good time. And I did not have to go to work that's pretty much a half day, and I had 2 other days off after that, so not bad. I'm going to get into some good stuff. As you know, I got a Wii U for Christmas. I got a Super Mario 3D World, which is an amazing game. And I recommend anyone who likes Mario to pick it up. It's just a mishmash of everything that's great about Mario is in that game. It's very fun to play. It's addictive as hell. It's hard to explain. It's very good. I like it a lot. I think I still like Mario 64 a little bit more, but this has definitely taken the second spot. And that's saying something, because that's over like the original Mario Brothers. That's over Super Mario Brothers 3. That's over Galaxy, of course. And I always think the SNES world and Mario 2 not as good of games. But yeah, this one really top notch. I didn't play any of the Galaxy games, so I can't compare it to those. I'm going to get those because the Wii U's backwards compatible and plays Wii games. But yeah, definitely an amazing game and worth playing. I was going to say it actually is going on sale at Target for $40 now. So you can save $20 on it if you act now. For some reason, Target's getting rid of a lot of their stock. And the other thing, though, about the Wii U's is it's gotten a lot of attention for having a 2013 that was a market. It was a financial loss. So that's never good. But I think there's enough on the horizon to keep people satisfied with the system. And I read that Nintendo's going to finally start reaching out to third-party developers to make games more than, just Nintendo doing all the hard work and making all the classics. You always just need more fuel for that system, and just having more games is the best way to go about it. I would have bought the system though, even if that didn't come out, because I'm a big Nintendo fanboy, and I kind of skipped the whole Wii thing, and I thought it was a perfect opportunity for me to get back into it, because it has a Wii in it. And you can boot it up in Wii mode and play from the Wii, or you can play Wii U. And I've had fun. I've played. I'm still playing Super Mario World 3D. That game, the green stars are it's very intense getting all of those. And I've also been playing Luigi U. I've had a lot of fun with that. It's the other Mario game with shorter levels. The 2D Mario game. I'm looking forward to a lot of the games too. So yeah. Daniel's still playing Zombie U, but he's taking kind of a break. It just has to do more running around. And he's pretty much gone past the worst part, which was I think, which was, I don't know, to me, it was the hardest thing I've ever seen someone do in a video game. when I was in the same room. It was the Boris level on Zombie U. It's where you have to time it just right and hit different zombies that are carrying oxygen tanks to blow up different hordes in different sections and just time out everything perfectly. And he did it on about the third try, and I was fucking impressed. So he just has to do some other odd and end stuff, and hopefully we get to whatever the ending is. I'm excited. It's a fun game. So yeah, I got that. I also got the Tekken game because it was only $15 at GameStop. Yeah, I had fun with it. It was okay. The Tekken games, to me, they're closer to Street Fighter than they are to Mortal Kombat, and that's better for me because I'm more of a Street Fighter-like fan. So yeah, I like the Tekken games, but they're kind of like weird, false 3D and stuff like that. They're fun. The tag team tournament. So yeah, and I also got Nintendo Land. I haven't played that yet. So I got like 5 games for the system, and I got a bunch of Wii games. I've been collecting some. The main one that I wanted and I got was Deadly Creatures, which is it really is nostalgic for someone who loved looking at bugs as a child to actually get to be a spider or a scorpion and eat several bugs. So there you go, full circle. But yeah, I definitely, if you can get a good deal on the Wii U, it's a great system. Wow, actually ran out of room, so pretty much going to end it now with the tweet of the week. In essence, I don't know where it left off, but Wii U, good. Gamepad, great option for being able to be in the living room while others watch TV and still play a game. So tweet of the week, this comes after the Super Bowl, which was highly disappointing, but good for the Seahawks, good for their franchise, finally getting a win. Bittersweet for Peyton Manning. I was a fan, I was pulling for him. I felt bad for him. The guy's pretty much Frankenstein together, and he's trying to do his best, and he did a hell of a season, had a great time. He's taken a lot of the abuse for this loss, but he's had a great career, and this is the end. He's won it before. He's already won the Super Bowl. He's already done it. So you can't say he never did. But good for the Seahawks. I know how it is. The Braves finally won in '95, and we were so happy. We still chasing it with the Falcons and the Hawks. So it's awesome. I love when new franchises are able to break that wall and get in there and win. Okay, so my tweet of the week. I'm going to rate this not safe for work. So turn off those speakers in your little cubicle there, okay? Tom, you know who you are. Alright, so Volkswagen had an ad where this father and daughter were in a car, and the father said every time the odometer reaches 100,000, a German engineer gets his wings, and then it showed the German engineers getting their wings, and it's from It's a Wonderful Life, how George was telling Zuzu how an angel gets their wings every time a bell rings, which makes no sense because you think it'd be like for something more significant, like changing George Bailey's life. But no, they don't get wings for that. They do, actually. But it's official when they get the bell rung. Whatever. So, that commercial happened, and then, the joke at the very end was, the girl said, what happens with 200,000? Do they shit rainbows? And then they kind of showed that while still being PG. Well, props to you, Volkswagen. Good job. So, Volkswagen feeling kind of high-mighty about their okay commercial. They contacted Victoria's Secret. There's a car passing. And I want you to hear me 100%. So Volkswagen says, hey, at Victoria's Secret, if we can get our wings every time a VW hits 100k miles, How do you get yours? And let me get into my response. I respond to this even though I'm not Victoria's Secret. I'm an asshole like that. I gotta get my George Bailey voice. Mary, every gaped asshole, Zuzu, every gaped asshole. Mary, yeah, I said every gaped asshole, Zuzu, oh, Zuzu, every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings. Every time an asshole is gaped, a Victoria's Secret model gets her wings. Zuzu, that's right. Hey, Zuzu, you want to give an angel her wings? Yeah. So, I'm going to sign out this week. Love you guys. Sorry this is so long. Had a wealth of topics to cover. We did it. I'm going to go out the only way I can. Goodbye, my Marys with the buns, working in the library with no George Dick. Goodbye. Goodbye. Mary, is that you, Mary? What happened to you, Mary? When I knew you, you used to have looks, and now you look hideous, Mary. Those cobwebs, Mary. Those cobwebs between your legs, Mary. My God, Mary. You let yourself go. Mary, you're working at a library, Mary? You smell like old books, Mary. Jesus, Mary. You really did marry up, Mary. You married up, you married George Bailey. George Bailey brought out the best in you.